We're underway then at Adams Park, and with their now familiar kick-off technique, they swing the ball back to Davis, who drives the ball out to the right-hand side, and Wycombe Wanderers knock the ball out of play, so it will be a Town throw-in in the left-back position to be taken by Graham Coughlin, partnered tonight by Kelvin Langmead, who's back in tonight. Langmead, a man who can count himself unfortunate, I'm sure, to be out to the starting 11. Town look to build down the left flank as they work it up towards Holt, who's banned on Saturday. He'll be looking to sign off with a bang tonight, I'm sure, here at Adams Park. But Wycombe clear up towards Magno Vieira, who plays the ball to this near side towards the fullback, Craig Woodman. Good ball to feet, a good footballing side, Wycombe. It's always been one of their trademarks. And now it's with Lewis Spence in the centre circle. Good patient probing build-up from Wycombe, then they knock it forward a bit too adventurously with Woodman, and through it goes to Glyn Garner. Nice for the keeper to get an early touch to settle any inevitable nerves the former Welsh international might be feeling tonight. And he kicks the ball out to the edge of his box, and will now look to get good distance as he clears long downfield. Right-footed. Hibbert the target this time, who's beaten in the air. Ben Hurd battling on halfway. Good strength from the fullback, who's had such a good season so far. He has his shirt tugged there by Nathan Ashton, and Shrewsbury Town will have a free kick 10 yards inside the Wycombe half on the right-hand side. Thornton will leave this one, I'm sure, for Davis or McIntyre to take. Well, no, actually, they stay away from it this time. It's Thornton who knocks it square to Tierney. 40 yards out, diagonal ball into the box towards Thornton. Thornton snapshot, and it's well wide. It was an easier chance, you can call it that, than the one he put away in such spectacular style at Darlington. 20 yards out, bit off balance, and he lashed it well wide of the left-hand post.
I think he probably had more time than he thought, actually, because he rather snatched it, didn't he, about 25 yards out, went for the spectacular, and in the end it was well wide of the left-hand post. But good to see Shrewsbury getting forward early on, inventive free kick, and Thornton with that first real effort on goal for Shrewsbury.
Davis in very bright yellow boots tonight, helps the ball on towards David Hibbert, and now Holt heads it in field, looking for the on-rushing Cansdale Sheriff. Wycombe clear, there's no one there to collect it, but a bit of a late challenge from Coughlin on Magno Vieira, and Wycombe Wanderers in their navy blue and light blue quartered shirts, their famous colours. If I can refer to Wycombe as having famous colours, hardly like the Blackburn Rovers or Bristol Rovers quarters, but you get my drift. Wycombe Wanderers then with a free kick inside the centre circle to be taken here by David McCracken, the club captain, Scotsman. Sends it long over towards the far side, flags up for offside, and Town will have a free kick inside their 18-yard box. If you're just joining us, a reminder of the teams. This is the team selected this evening by Paul Simpson, the Shrewsbury Town manager. Glyn Garner in goal at the back, Ben Hurd, Kelvin Langmead, Graham Coughlin and Mark Tierney. In midfield, Sean Thornton, Shane Cansdale Sheriff, Kevin McIntyre and Ben Davis captain, and up front Grant Holt and Dave Hibbert. Hibbert the target here as he turns away, tries to win Town a free kick. It goes against him though, and Wycombe will have a free kick instead. This is the team selected by the home boss, Peter Taylor, this evening. Jamie Young is preferred to Town Old Boy, Scott Shearer as the goalkeeper. Back four, Robbie Rice, David McCracken, Leon Johnson and Craig Woodman. Stray Carpenter's Town come forward here with Hibbert down the left-hand side, tries to make something of it, tries to win Town a corner. Good tenacity from Hibbert, but in the end McCracken's just a little bit stronger, and he clears for Wycombe. In midfield for the home side tonight, Matt Phillips, John Massinio, Lewis Spence and Nathan Ashton, and up front Scott McLeish and Magno Vieira. Wycombe by no means at full stretch. The ball is out of play for a goal kick to Shrewsbury Town, and what noise you can hear, I'm sure you can hear back home, or if you're in the car back in Shropshire, is coming from the Town fans, who are in really good voice tonight, Colin.
They are. I think they had a Dunny give us a wave only a few moments ago, and happily you obliged. I think they're a very happy bunch. But yeah, they're loud, they're noisy, they're making plenty of noise this evening, and it's good to see, and hopefully, as I say, the players will respond.
Wycombe.
It's quite unnerving having them sort of listening to the commentary,
yes,
though, really,
isn't
it?
It's very unusual, isn't it?
Of course, usually we don't get to see people, it's fine, but when you actually get to see them face to face, it's all a bit worrying. Up
close and personal tonight with the Town diehards who have made the trip down the M40. 140 miles from Shrewsbury to Wycombe, and they're here tonight in good voice, hoping to enjoy themselves. Tierney gets the ball forward here, players board back though for an earlier infringement on Lewis Spence. Referee tonight is Andy Woolmer of Northampton, a man who has taken charge of a number of Town games down the years, including infamously the game at Histon in the FA Cup. One of Town's lowest ever moments, I'm sure. when they were knocked out by Histon, who at the time were minnows, not the respectable conference club they have since become. Hurd with a good defensive header on the edge of the 18-yard box, up towards Hibbert. Ball won't stick. Wycombe indulge in a bit of keep ball. Woodman, the left back, now clips it forward. One for Vieira to chase, and that goes out of play again for a goal kick. Fairly low-key start here.
Yeah, I think, I mean, obviously Wycombe have made, 5 changes or so from the team that won on Saturday, and it may well take time for those players to gel early on, so perhaps a good opportunity for Town to hit them where it hurts. But I think as well that, OK, it may well not be a strong Wycombe side today, but I'm sure one or two of those players who've come in tonight will be desperate to impress the manager Peter Taylor, because of course Wycombe are top of the league, and when things are going well, every player wants to be involved week in, week out, so it's not going to be an easy game, this one, for Town tonight, despite those Wycombe changes.
This is Thornton, who's everywhere in his early stages. Thinks about the shot, fans urging him to shoot. Instead, though, he rolls it square to the hard-working Grant Holt. And now Hurd goes short to Davis. This is happening midway inside the Wycombe Wanderers half, as time played towards the Hypnos Terrace, the home end here at Adams Park. Time give the ball away. Bit of a lazy ball forward from Cansdale Sheriff, and Wycombe look to turn defence into attack. They try and get Vieira in down the inside left channel, and the dependable Langmead slides in and puts the ball out of play. Langmead, who has an enviable position at the moment. No matter how well he plays, you think, the way selection's been so far, Paul Simpson clearly prefers Coughlin and Jackson, 2 real war horses at the heart of the back four. Langmead, though, can only keep doing his best and hope to force his way into the team on a consistent basis. McLeish crosses from the left-hand side. It's overhit. It's asking a lot of Matt Phillips to chase out to that far side and able to keep the ball in. And Shrewsbury Town will have a throw-in adjacent to the edge of the 18-yard box in the left-back position. No score as yet. 7 minutes played at Adams Park. Wycombe Wanderers 0, Shrewsbury Town 0. Telford, remember, in action a little bit later tonight. They take on Solihull Moors in the Satanta Shield at the new Bucks End. Wycombe.
Could be a long night.
Right on
cue. Could be a long night.
They can hear every word. I better be careful and not give them any cues to unleash their range of terrace chance tonight.
I dread to think if Telford concede tonight, what the reaction will be from those Town fans. I think they'll enjoy every second of it.
I think we should pick our words carefully, Colin, and tread very carefully here at Adams Park. It's Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 0. Town have a throw on halfway, taken down the line by Tierney, up towards Holt, and now Hibbert plays it back towards Thornton, who had a really good game up at Darlington on Saturday. Plays it out to this near side towards Davis, and now Hurd, former Watford player, clips a good-looking ball towards the edge of the box, but flag goes up against Cansdale Sheriff, and Wycombe Wanderers will have a free kick on the left-hand side of their 18-yard box. Wycombe, who went back to the top of League 2 on Saturday by virtue of beating Bournemouth here by 3-1, a game that attracted plenty of attention from the national media, because Stuart Atwell, the referee who gave that bizarre phantom goal for Reading at Watford a couple of weeks ago, was having his first game in the middle, and of course the national media turned up to run their beady eye over Mr. Atwell, who I believe did pretty well on Saturday here.
Yeah, I think he's the youngest ref in the league, isn't he? He's only, 26 years of old. You know, I tell you what, you're getting old when the referees start getting younger than you, as Stuart Atwell is with me. So yeah, I think he did okay. No major problems on Saturday, and you kind of had to feel from a little bit, because of course for that aforementioned game you mentioned, the Reading game, it was actually the linesman who gave it, but the referee seemed to take all the flack as well. I suppose the two are supposed to work together, hand in hand, so to speak, but didn't quite happen for them that day, did it?
It didn't. This is McCracken for Wycombe, the centre-half and captain, plays it square to the right back. Robbie Rice in tonight. He sends it long, looking for Vieira down the middle. Langmead reads it well. This is Vieira again, flags up, and that's been the story of the game so far. A game punctuated by the shrill of the whistle of the man in charge, Andy Woolmer, in his yellow top and black shorts, very diminutive figure, a bit thinning on top, and he's the man in charge here tonight at Adams Park. Been a nice introduction though, back to life in the first team for Glyn Garner. Nearly 10 minutes played, and it's been a very leisurely return to the big stage for the once capped former Welsh international, who slips as he takes a free kick, doesn't make good connection at all. Wycombe unable to capitalise though, ball hanging in the air up towards Holt. Now Cansdale Sheriff plays it forward towards Hibbert, back to goal, 30 yards out, goes back towards Hurd. Very patient, studious build up this time from Shrewsbury Town. Hurd goes short to Davis, keeping the ball well. Thornton now clips it into the box, one for Hibbert to chase, a bit too close though to Young, and he made that his own the Wycombe Wanderers goalkeeper. Town being very patient and probing in their approach play, Colin.
Yeah, they're doing okay so far, slightly edging it, although there's no real pattern to the game yet, 10 minutes in. But Thornton probably been the most heavily involved so far out of all the Town players. You could see the idea there, just tried to thread the ball through into the penalty area. Didn't quite come off the Town that time, but he's impressed me so far, Thornton. I think his loan spell's up on Saturday after Port Vale. I'm sure Paul Simpson will be eager to keep hold of him at least for another month at the Pro Star.
Let's hope so. This is Davis towards the corner flag on the right hand side. 2 Wycombe players closing on him. They catch Davis a little bit late, and Town will have a free kick here in a youthful position. It's slightly better than a corner. It's on the right hand side. Some very nice trees in full bloom behind that terrace. Town are playing towards a bit like it used to be at Gay Meadow with the Abbey Gardens behind the Wycombe end, isn't it? As we look to our right, the goal to our right, Town have this free kick. It's McIntyre and Davis standing over this one. Could favour the in-swinger for McIntyre. Delivers left-footed towards the far post, and it's punched away by Young, the goalkeeper. Good ball in from McIntyre. Town corner, first of the night.
Yeah, it was good delivery, wasn't it? I think Hibbett was waiting for it. Had it fallen onto the head of Hibbett, he was completely unmarked. Would have been a certain goal, surely. 1-0 to the Town, but the goalkeeper, Young, did really well. Good connection to it. Another Town corner. I think the first of the game, I think
it is. Davis will take it. Tierney goes darting off in that direction in case he fancies taking a short corner. He summons Tierney to backtrack, though. It will be delivered into the middle. Coughlin, who's so useful in the air, has made his way forward alongside the likes of Langmead. Hurd back to mind the shop. Davis standing in front of a little scoreboard and clock on that floodlight away in that far corner of the ground. He now takes it very deep corner towards Holt. Holt with the downward header, and it's gone in! And Tanner ahead here. It's a perfect start. Great delivery. Deep header at the far post. It is bounced in, and Tanner ahead here. Early on at Adams Park. It's Wycombe Wanderers 0. Shrewsbury Town 1.
Yeah, very, very good corner towards his head, and it was a very powerful header in, although in all honesty, the Wycombe defenders just stood off him, and it was a firm header down and in. Jamie Young, the Wycombe goalkeeper, stood no chance. Great start for the Town. They come close a couple of times already this evening. You have to say Shrewsbury have been the brighter of the two sides in the opening 12 minutes, and it's Grant Holt's first away goal, I think, for Shrewsbury this season, or certainly his first away in terms of open play. He scored at Chester, didn't he?
He did. 5th goal of the season, 2nd from open play, and a good soaring header from Grant Holt. Question marks over the quality of the Wycombe Wanderers defensive cover there, but hey, who cares? Town a goal to the good here, and Holt has headed in a really good corner kick from the captain Ben Davis, once again underlining his importance at set pieces. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 1. Wycombe looking to hit back as they build down the right hand side. The ball into the box is blocked off by McIntyre, but it's back only as far as McCracken in the centre circle. Plants it forward, wildly overhit, and behind it goes, and that will be a goal kick. Almost too easy, isn't it, so far, Colin Bloomfield? Town are playing the League 2 leaders in name tonight, but I know they've made a few changes, but it's a lot more straightforward, albeit very early on in the game, than I would ever dare to have anticipated. Well,
most of the action has been to our right. We're having to crank our neck to see what's going on towards our right hand side. That's the end that Town are attacking, and well, in front of us, Glyngarno, not too far in front of us, has had very little to do so far. It's been very pedestrian from Wycombe. They haven't asked any questions really of this Shrewsbury Town defence so far. Sporadic attacks from the home side. They haven't got started, and of course Shrewsbury have. They got that goal through Grant Holt. Great start for them, but so far Wycombe pretty unimpressive, but I'm sure they will have their moments in this game. Still only 1-0, long way to go.
And you're listening to 96 FM BBC Radio Shropshire. Stuart Dunn and Colin Bloomfield here tonight at Adams Park, the home of Wycombe Wanderers and also home of London Wasps, the powerful rugby union club who have a host of international stars in their ranks, including Danny Cipriani, the England fly half. His glamorous girlfriend Kelly Brook was here on Sunday. Sadly, I can't see her tonight, Colin.
I don't know, it's funny that, isn't it? Kelly Brook, shall I go to a Johnston's paint trophy game between Wycombe and Shrewsbury? I don't know.
I think she's a
regular visitor, I think, to come and watch her other half play.
Yes, I think she is. It's a Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 1, 14 and a half minutes played. This is Hibbett on halfway. Good holder play from Hibbett. Uses Hurd. Short it goes towards Thornton. He seems to have ditched the bottle blonde image he's had since his days at Sunderland. He did have dyed blonde hair on his Town debut against Gillingham. but he's gone back to his more natural colour, which looks a bit ginger in the last couple of games. But he's having a really good game for Town once again tonight, Thornton. He's busy and inventive, and I for one really hope he can become a more permanent addition to this Town squad, because he certainly has brought in some much needed creativity to a workman-like midfield which had started the season. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 1. Grant Holt with the only goal of the game. It came on 12 minutes. Deep penetrative corner from the captain Davis, and a powerful header from Holt. It's 1-0 to Shrewsbury in this Johnston's Paint Trophy second round tie. The ball is back with Young, the Wycombe keeper. Unconvincing as he's closed down quickly by Holt. He's really up for this tonight. It bounces out off the shins of Holt. Goal kick to Wycombe.
Sure, be a big relief, won't it, for Grant Holt? I know he's scored 5 goals, but well, a few of them did come from the penalty spot, and there were question marks over his goals from open play and whether he should have been getting more.
Only from you, Colin.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. But no, I think, as a player, I mean, I'm sure Grant Holt will say it doesn't matter how they come about. And let's be honest, whether it's a penalty or a header or a goal from 25 yards, that's all we care about, isn't it? Just as long as it goes in the back of the net. But I'm sure it will be a bit of a weight off his mind, particularly with suspension looming at the weekend.
Yep. 2 goals from open play, both headers as well. Late header at the South Stand end against Aldershot in that tense League 2 game back in August, and a header tonight to give Town the advantage here at Adams Park. Let's see what Wycombe are made of as they build down this left-hand side towards Vieira. Awful control for Magno Vieira. The ball bounces out off his shins, and Town will have a throw in the right-back position. Wycombe do have some useful players on the bench tonight to try and change things around, including their top goal scorer, Chris Zabrowski, who was on the mark in Saturday's 3-1 win here against Jimmy Quinn's Bournemouth. Thornton battling for the ball just inside his own half. He's caught late by Nathan Ashton, one of the young guns, hoping to catch the eye of the Wycombe boss Peter Taylor this evening, and Town will have a free kick just inside their own half, about 10 yards shy of halfway, to be taken by Ben Hurd, who has become a real fan's favourite, hasn't he, since joining the club. This is season number 4, isn't it, for Ben Hurd, one of Town's longest serving players, along with Langmead and Ashton. Hurd with a good ball up towards Hibbert. Nice layoff from Hibbert to Davis on the right hand side of the area. Good close control from the captain. Feeds Thornton. Bit tight and intricate this time for Shrewsbury. They tend to overplay at times, and Wycombe nip in there, and they force a Town error, and Wycombe now will have a throw in the left back position.
How many times do we say that last season, Stuart? Town overplaying, not too often. I suppose that just goes to show what Paul Simpson is trying to do at Shrewsbury. He's trying to get the players playing the game the right way on the floor, trying to get some passing, because we didn't see an awful lot of that last season, despite that excellent Pro-Star surface.
And here comes Thornton down the right hand side, clips the ball in towards Hibbert, and it's clipped away by McCracken for Wycombe Wanderers. McLeish, who we've seen little of so far, that really sums up his opening 18 minutes. He swiveled on halfway, tried to find his strike partner Vieira, and he lashes the ball straight out of play. Simo, chant the travelling Salopians. Seems to be a big favourite already.
I think the bit of ball juggling there at the I think the dugout, I think the fans enjoyed that probably just as much as the manager.
Interesting talking to esteemed Shrewsbury photographer Matt Ashton, by the way, whose travels as a photographer took him up to Lancashire on Saturday, and the Blackburn Man United game. He was listening to our sister station BBC Radio Lancashire, and some Preston North End fans on their phone in, Matthew was telling us ahead of the game tonight, were actually saying they wish they had Paul Simpson back in charge at Deepdale. Very interesting indeed. Thankfully though, he's Shrewsbury Town's manager, and he's doing a fine job of reviving Town's fortunes. Town have a free kick here just inside the Wycombe half, taken short by Davis to Thornton, and now to Tierney. Diagonal delivery into the area towards Hibbert. Good little flick on from Hibbert. Could break towards Holt. Slightly in front of him though, and out comes Young, the Wycombe goalkeeper. Just thinking off the top of my head, Colin, I must have been to Adams Park 7, maybe 8 times down the years since Wycombe came into the Football League in the late 1980s under Martin O'Neill, who did such a wonderful job here. And I cannot recall ever seeing Town win here. We've had draws aplenty, a couple of humbling defeats, but I will whisper it quietly at the risk of tempting fate. But I've never seen Town win a game at Adams Park. They haven't exactly got a terrific record against Wycombe at Gay Meadow or the Pro Star either, have they? They have been one of the bogey teams.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Wycombe playing Shrewsbury on the opening day at Gay Meadow a few years ago. You'll probably remember it better than me, but I remember Peter Whiston, I think, getting sent off that day or something. Some town
player got sent off in both games, home and away against Wycombe.
Yeah, 1-1. I think it was played on a Sunday as well, wasn't it?
It was. Who scored for Town?
Oof, Ian Stevens?
Correct.
Hey.
Good knowledge. Town on the attack here with Hibbert.
Sad knowledge, I think, is the reason.
Good knowledge, Cole. Don't knock yourself. It's Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 1. Colin Bloomfield and Stuart Dunn, your commentary team here tonight on 96 FM BBC Radio Shropshire. Todding up the miles again, following the Town up and down the land. And Town has some defensive work to do here. Bounces away from Vieira though, and through it goes to the goalkeeper. Garner tonight. If you're just joining us on Radio Shropshire, enforced change between the posts tonight by Paul Simpson. Luke Daniels, who's been such a star, hasn't he, since coming in on loan on the eve of the season, he is ill tonight, so Glyn Garner in as goalkeeper instead. This is Hurd. Good ball forward onto the chest of the goal scorer, Holt. Nice little ball around the corner. Casdell Sheriff thinks about the shot. He does shoot. It's blocked. Casdell Sheriff again. And it ended up being a good pass, actually. Davis just about keeps the ball in, scoops the ball up towards the far post. Thornton with a downward header, and Wycombe just about scramble the ball away. Only one team in it here, Colin. You sense if Town could get a second here, the floodgates could really be wound back.
Yep, it's all Shrewsbury so far. They've absolutely dominated, haven't they? First 20 minutes, Wycombe guilty of giving the ball away really cheaply.
And here's Thornton in the penalty area, left-hand side. Thornton shoots. Good block from McCracken this time for Wycombe. Town keep on the pressure though with the right back. Hurd swings the ball in. Thornton miscues his volley. Could break towards McIntyre. And some desperate defensive cover by Rice for Wycombe. But Town again in complete control. Cruise control almost. As Coughlin sprays a lovely ball from 60 yards from one side of the park to the other. Hurd heavily involved in these opening exchanges. Uses Davis, playing almost as a right winger tonight. Cuts in field, he's pursued by Woodman, but on he goes Davis. Casdell Sheriff uses Hurd, and now Thornton. Town toying with the Wycombe players here. It's good to watch. Town probing away, looking for a second. Good football. This is Davis shoots off balance, and he hammers it wide. Nice give and go with Hibbert though. And Town all over Wycombe Wanderers here.
Tell you what, Stu, that would have been a lovely goal, because Town must have strung together about 10 passes there. In the end, the shot came in and it wasn't the best, but good to see Town getting the ball on the floor, using the width as well with Davis on the right. Good spell of pressure this for the Town. They've got to make it count and get that second goal though.
Yep, you sense they have. Just distracted by the back of the matchday programme here tonight, as is often the case with Johnstone's Paint Trophy games, as Garner comes out and claims Wellers Vieira closes in for Wycombe. It's a thinner programme tonight, 24 pages though, not bad for £1.50, and they're advertising on the back of the programme a forthcoming sportsman's dinner here at Adams Park with Bruce Grobbelaar. I think we can all guess what will be a big part of his speech that night, the former Liverpool legendary goalkeeper. It's on the 3rd of November if you fancy coming down to Wycombe for that one. Wycombe on the attack here with Ashton down the left hand side, drives the ball in. Good cover provided by Casdell Sheriff. Still getting used to seeing Casdell Sheriff with such a closely cropped haircut, which he unveiled for the Bradford game a couple of Saturdays ago. Having a decent game so far in the engine room, the holding midfield player. Midway point of the first half, Wycombe overplay, they give it away cheaply. This is Holt, deep inside his own half, shovels it forward. One for Hibbert to chase, good covering this time for McCracken, and he plays it back to Young, the goalkeeper. Ironic, I suppose, Colin, that it should be Grant Holt who's got the goal. I dare say, had he been available for Saturday against Port Vale, he might well have been rested here tonight, as he was for the last round at Exeter City. Yeah,
potentially. I mean, we've got the fans to our left-hand side singing his name, and he is a real crowd favourite, because he's
Grant
much more.
Holt, Superman.
He is, indeed. Yeah, I think the thing is as well, his game is much more than just goals, isn't it? Because he holds the play up so well, he's big, he's strong. We saw the goal he created against Bradford that Richard Walker stuck in for the second, and that's very much part and parcel of his game. As we said at Darlington on Saturday, it may lead to one or two more bookings than we might like, but he's been a real asset to this Shrewsbury team. 5 goals this season. I think he'd be pretty happy with that at this stage, and a header tonight that's got Town in front.
Yep, Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 1. If you're just joining us here on BBC Radio Shropshire, just past the midway point of this first half, Grant Holt with the vital breakthrough on 12 minutes. Good corner delivered by the captain Davis, and Holt with a free header, really headed it down and it bounced in. Thought the keeper Jamie Young may have done a tad better with it, but it ended up in the back of the net, and it's given Shrewsbury something on which to build here tonight in Buckinghamshire. Very pleasant night, actually. Awful journey down the M40 to Wycombe this afternoon. Raining really heavily. Windscreen wipers on full volume all the way here, but a very pleasant night here. It's like a summer's day almost in comparison to how it was at Darlington on Saturday, when it really was the proverbial brass monkeys in the northeast. Town have the ball on halfway. Thornton plays it forward towards Holt. Good cover this time for McCracken, and he knocks it back to Young, the goalkeeper, who's preferred tonight to Scott Shearer, who received a really warm ovation as he came off the field, having completed his warm-up tonight. Shearer, who's on the bench. Town fans clearly remember with affection Scott Shearer, the role he played in helping Town get to Wembley on that never-to-be-forgotten night at Milton Keynes a couple of years ago, Colin.
Of course, didn't play at Wembley either, did he? In the playoff final, did such a fantastic job to get Town there, and couldn't play against his parent club.
Yep. Chris Mackenzie, wasn't it? He came in and was beaten twice by Richard Walker. Walker on the bench tonight for Shrewsbury Town. 25 minutes in then, Wycombe Wanderers 0, Shrewsbury 1 in this Johnstone's Paint Trophy. Second round tie in the southern section of the competition. Telford also in action tonight. They're underway at 7:45 at the new Bucks Head against Solihull Moors in their lower league cup competition, the Satanta Shield. It could go all the way tonight. Could even be extra time and penalties if it's needed. Could be a late night maybe for our commentary team with the Bucks Head, Nick Southall and Steve Bowyer. So we shall see what happens there. Cannot be extra time here. If the teams are level at the end of 90 minutes, it would be straight into penalties. Town have the ball midway inside their own half with Tierney with his shaven head. The former Oldham Athletic player plays it forward, left-footed across the deck to Holt, the goal scorer. Cansdell Sheriff sprays a good-looking ball out to this near side onto the head of Davis, who had to backtrack to keep the ball in. Davis having a go at Woodman here, and Davis beats him with ease. Terrific run by Davis, good delivery too, and Town has scored, and it's Grant Holt again. Wonderful play from Davis down the right, plays it in, and Holt with an emphatic finish from 12 yards into the bottom corner. 26 minutes played, Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 2.
What a way to sign off the 4-year suspension. Super play by Ben Davis on the right. Great strength from Davis, worked his way to the byline, there was the ball in, it came to Holt, 12 yards out, and it was a really smart finish, right-footed, low, hard, beyond the goalkeeper, into the corner of the net. Town cruising 2-0 up, and deservedly so, no more than they deserve. Town have really played well in the opening 27 minutes of this game. Wycombe can have no complaints. Shrewsbury Town 2-0 up at Wycombe, Grant Holt with both goals. And Town have half an hour in the next round of the Johnston's Paint Trophy.
I thought it was a great finish at the time, but a bit like at Darlington on Saturday, we're treated to an instant action replay here. A screen in one of the corners of the ground, the near corner to where we are. Not as big as the screen at Darlington, the arena, but even so, very instant replay, and it was a super run from Davis, totally outwitting Woodman, the fullback. He made him look rather foolish, actually. Pull the ball back, and a supreme finish from Grant Holt. What a pity. He is banned on Saturday as he really starts to find his shooting boots here. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 2.
Very much so. I think, again, you've got to ask serious questions of the Wycombe defence. I mean, the defender Woodman, okay, super play by Davis, but the defender Woodman will be disappointed with himself. Great ball in though by Davis. How many times do you see that from Town players down the years? They get themselves in that position, they beat the defender, and it's always a poor ball in. But Davis, that was a great ball in towards Holt, 12 yards out, and he finished it emphatically. And well, that's what you pay £170,000 for, Stuart.
Wycombe have a free kick here, just on the edge of the centre circle, just inside the town half of the park. Clint Garner, you know, has had probably the easiest 28 minutes I've ever seen him have in his Town career here. He's had absolutely nothing to do, and look at that, long free kick for McCracken, overhit dramatically, straight out of play, and that will be a goal kick to Shrewsbury Town. Paul Simpson, the manager, urging his team on. He wants more. You could see how delighted he was with the second goal, the manager. He punched the air in delight, turned to the bench. John McMahon being serenaded by the travelling fans here, the Town number 2.
I think Pete Downward as well. Kidman punched the air as well. He was delighted. Town fan, of course.
He is.
Grew up watching them on the terraces.
He's a lucky talisman, isn't he, Pete? He was away from the club last season when all the struggles were ongoing. His only previous season with the club was the one in which they got to Wembley. So let's hope he proves to be a lucky mascot again, the kit man, Peter Downward, who is a big Town fan. This is Hibbert. He'd love a goal tonight to get in on the action, but it's Holt, his strike partner, who's got both here inside the opening half an hour. It's Wycombe Wanderers 0, Shrewsbury Town 2. This is Thornton on halfway. Good ball in field, lovely little touch from McIntyre. Town really playing some classy stuff here this evening. This is Ben Hurd, the right back. Thought about going short to Cansdell Sheriff. Instead he plays a good diagonal ball into the box towards Hibbert. Wycombe just cannot cope with Town going forward here. This is Thornton. Remember, this is Wycombe's first choice central defensive pairing here tonight with Johnson and McCracken on duty. This time Tang get a bit over ambitious and the ball goes behind for a goal kick. Just wonder, half an hour in, Colin Bloomfield, what Peter Taylor, the Wycombe manager, makes of his team selection.
Well, he can't have any complaints about the scoreline. Shrewsbury thoroughly deserve their 2-0 lead. Glenn Garner has had absolutely nothing to do by the routine back pass. He's had a couple of back passes to deal with, easy pickups as well, but Wycombe have done next to nothing going forward, and it has been all Town. We said about the importance of making that pressure count and get that second goal, and I think for me now, well, it'd be great to see Town get a third, but just keep it tight to half time, don't concede. I'm sure Paul Simpson would be absolutely thrilled to bits to come here and be 2-0 up at half time, but having said that, the way Town are playing, you wouldn't bet against them getting a third goal.
Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 2, Holt on the ball. It's players brought back for a foul on Thornton. Plenty of ties elsewhere in the Johnstone Spain Trophy this evening, including some 7 o'clock games. We will give you the latest scores as and when we get them here on 96 FM BBC Radio Shropshire. Also keeping a close eye on AFC Telford United's fortunes against Solihull Moors in the Setanta Shield at the New Buckshead. No other goals anywhere in the country as yet, only a handful of 7 o'clock kickoffs tonight. But here at Wycombe, it's Wanderers 0, Shrewsbury Town 2, and possibilities here. Free kick to the Town, 30 yards out. Wycombe assembling a 4-man defensive wall, and this is right up the street to the skipper, Ben Davis. It would be remarkable if anyone but Davis has a go here. McIntyre also eyeing it with interest. It will be Davis, so right-footed over the wall, good hit, and a decent save from Jamie Young on his goal line. Yeah,
good free kick, wasn't it, by Davis? A long way out, got it on target though, and Young danced to his right. And in the end, it was a pretty routine stop from the Wycombe number 1, but that just goes to show the confidence of Ben Davis, doesn't it? Shooting from that range, he's so good at set pieces, and he's had a hand and indeed created both Shrewsbury goals this evening.
This is Tierney on the edge of his back line. Garner, the keeper, in tonight for the ill Daniels, must be delighted. And there's an understatement with the way his return to the senior side has gone so far. He has had absolutely nothing to do in these opening 32 minutes. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 2 on BBC Radio Shropshire. This is McIntyre, uses Thornton, busy player, covers the ground so quickly, uses Tierney out there. Thornton again always wants the ball, like all good players, demands it, loves to be involved. And now Coughlin plays it forward towards Holt, on a hat-trick already here tonight at Wycombe. This time the Town move breaks down, but Wycombe cannot string more than 2 passes together. They are all over the place. I know they made 5 changes tonight, but even so, you would think they would have plenty of strength in depth and players really how to impress, and they haven't done that in the opening third of this game. Let's see what they can do here though. It's with Ashton on the left-hand side of the Town penalty area, having a go at Hurd, and Hurd is far too streetwise for him. Easy, bit of ball juggling from Hurd, and he bicycle kicks the ball away, only as far as Woodman, the left back. Hurd stayed down injured. Wycombe allowed to play on as Ashton delivers, and Langmead, a bit panicky, puts his right foot through the ball, and it goes out of play. Town fans unhappy. They think that was a head injury to Ben Hurd, who's thrown by the corner flag, and work for the physio Nathan Ring to do here.
Yeah, I think the Town fans felt as though the Wycombe players should have stopped play there. Of course, we saw that a couple of weeks ago, didn't we, against Bradford, when those 2 Bradford players, Moncur and Lee, went out and injured. I have to say though, Stuart, just looking at Wycombe's goal scoring record, I don't want to tempt fate, but Wycombe have only scored 11 goals in the league this season in their 9 games so far. 3 of them came on Saturday against Bournemouth, so they're not renowned for goal scoring. I think they were top of the league, a week or so ago, 8 goals in 8 games, so they don't score many. And as I say, I don't want to tempt fate, touching wood, but that's a good omen, that, for the Town.
Touch wood indeed. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 2 in this Johnstone Spain Trophy Southern Section second round tie on BBC Radio Shropshire, number 1 football station. Ball delivered from the left-hand side by Wycombe. It's overhit again, this time by Leon Johnson, and it swerves out of play, and that will be a goal kick to Shrewsbury Town. Happy for Glyn Garner. I was at the Pro Star last Wednesday for the reserve game against Nottingham Forest when he handed Forest victory in that reserve team clash with a late error, which I'm sure would have haunted him for a couple of days after that, knowing the good professional that Glyn Garner is. But here he is, back on the first team stage, and having a very leisurely 35 minutes here at Adams Park, the home of Wycombe Wanderers. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 2, as Cansdell Sheriff scoops the ball over halfway towards Davis, and Cansdell Sheriff again with that short haircut to Hibbert now. Uses McIntyre on the left-hand side, short in field it goes towards Thornton. Good skills again from Thornton, turned away from a Wycombe man as though he wasn't there. Plays a give and go with Holt, really pulling the strings here, Holt, as he looks to his left-hand side. Good patient build-up again from the town. Now it's with Tierney, looks for the ball to the man outside him, McIntyre, a bit tight this time from Shrewsbury, and that will be a throw into Wycombe. But really good to see Town having the self-belief to knock the ball around in tight areas here.
Yeah, very much so. It's interesting reading the comments of one or two Darlington fans after the game at the weekend saying, how on earth is Shrewsbury third in the league? Well, tonight, well, here's the evidence. This is why Shrewsbury are third in the league. They've got good players who can score goals. They've got players who can get the ball on the floor and pass it and create chances. And at the other end, they've been really solid. OK, Wycombe haven't done an awful lot going forward, but the bits they have, Town have gobbled up with ease.
And it's 2-0 to Shrewsbury Town here at Adams Park. 10 minutes to go in this first half. If you're just joining us, Grant Holt has got both goals for the Town. A header from a Davis corner on 12 minutes, and then a lovely goal for the second on 26. Davis scampering down the right-hand side. Terrific tenacity to outwit Woodman, pulled the ball back, and there was Holt sweeping the ball in to the same corner from which the ball had been delivered, into the bottom corner. 2-0 to Shrewsbury, 2 for Holt, 2 for the Town, and it's very, very comfortable. Long way to go though, let's not get too carried away. This is Davis in those shiny yellow boots. You have to be a good player to pull them off, and he's a good player. Ball in for McIntyre, and this time it's too close to the keeper.
Real willing worker, isn't he, Kevin McIntyre? Covers so much ground. I said on Saturday he's not going to win too many man of the match awards, Kevin McIntyre, but he's a good solid 7 out of 10 kind of player who'll work really, really hard. I think Paul Simpson compared him to Chris Billy, a player he had at Carlisle in the fans forum a few weeks ago. Or a few months ago rather, and he is that type of player, isn't he? He's a player who, as I say, might not be a fan's favourite all the time.
His teammates appreciate.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Does a really good job, I think, for the Town.
Yep. It was Ben Hurd just a couple of weeks ago who referred to McIntyre as being the unsung hero in this very successful Shrewsbury side. The ball is back in those so far safe hands of Glyn Garner. I'm trying to recall the last time he played at first team level. He was axed for the game at Morecambe, wasn't he? Towards the end of last season. I think it may have been the game at Chesterfield. Martin Wilde, who writes a very fine column on page 58 of the Matchday programme with that
good plug.
Snippet of information. Glyn Garner, yeah, his last first team game at Chesterfield back in April, when he was beaten 4 times in a really wretched day, wasn't it, at Saltergate?
Could have been 8 really, couldn't it?
I remember driving home from Derbyshire that day, Colin, wondering maybe, just maybe, if Town would be really sucked into a desperate relegation dogfight. As it was, we went to Morecambe a few days later. Pugh scored late to get a point, then Wrexham was swept aside 3-0, and that was safety secured with a bit to spare in the end. Back up to the present day though, it's Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 2 here. 8 minutes to play in this first half as McIntyre plays it forward over halfway towards Holt, who turns away from McCracken, giving the Wycombe captain a torrid time here tonight. Good battle between those two this time, and McCracken, on this occasion at least, comes out on top and plays it back to Young, the goalkeeper. Long clearance over halfway, header well won by Langmead, who's been as steady as ever, Langmead at the heart of the back four tonight. Langmead uses Thornton. This time Davis tries to step over, doesn't quite come off, but who can blame him for trying something a bit special there? Davis, who's made both goals here tonight for Holt. Here come Town again with Hibbert. Holt screaming for the ball, he gets it 20 yards out. Holt turns, look at the space for McIntyre. Holt finds him, McIntyre chance for 3-0, and he takes it! So easy! Wycombe are all over the place. Holt and McIntyre, 38 minutes played, Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 3.
Well, listen to the fans. Easy, easy, easy. Really good, smart finish by Kevin McIntyre, edge of the penalty area. The Wycombe player stood off him. There was a shot low beyond the keeper Young into the far corner. Town 3-0 up, and we're not even at half time. I'm enjoying it this evening, Stuart.
Very much so. Kevin McIntyre seems to like this competition. Scored his only previous goal this season at Exeter City in round 1. And that was a really confident finish. Lovely move from Town. Hibbert to Holt, Holt to McIntyre. But again, huge gaping gaps in the Wycombe Wanderers backline.
Unbelievable. I mean, Wycombe, we talked about them being not prolific goal scorers this season, but I tell you what, they've been really good at the back, but tonight they've been all over the place. I think I'm right in saying, Stuart, as well, the 2 centre halves are regular, aren't they? They're regular centre halves, first choice centre halves for Wycombe, and Town have carved them open with so much ease, and Town just seem to be up for this tonight. Really up for it compared to Wycombe.
Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 3. Town, who have scored for fun at the Pro Star, haven't been so prolific away from home until now. Here they come again. Davis, good ball in. Desperation defensive cover from Johnstone this time. And Town, who are rampant here, have another corner at Adams Park.
Really good, isn't it? And that drum to our left-hand side is banging away from those Shrewsbury Town supporters. I'm sure just cannot believe what they're saying. 3-0 up at the League 2 league leaders, and I have to say thoroughly deserve to be 3-0 up as well.
Town with the corner then. McIntyre, who scored the third, will take this one at the home end of Adams Park, the only terraced end of this ground. About half full tonight, that home end, to take the corner short. McIntyre, better angle for the ball in. Nervy defensive play again for Wycombe. McCracken just about did enough to get there ahead of Holt. And Town have another corner. It's a question at this stage, you think, Colin, of just how ruthless Town want to be here at Wycombe, just how keen they are to really rub Wycombe's noses in it.
Well, they were 4-0 up at half-time, of course, against Gillingham, and one or two of us thought maybe the second half would be a bit of a non-event. That didn't happen. I think Town will go for more goals here, hungry for more goals. 3-0 up, 5 minutes to go before half-time. Town fans enjoying themselves as well.
Yes, seem to want to know if the Telford fans are listening here tonight. Some of them will be at the game, I'm sure, against Solihull Moors. Full coverage online and on DAB with Nick Southall and Big Steve Bowyer from the New Bucks Head tonight. And we will be having some Telford commentary, I'm sure, during half-time in this game on 96 FM. And also, when we're done and dusted, hopefully it will be an early night here at Wycombe, we will have Telford commentary of the second half here on 96 FM BBC Radio Shropshire. 4 minutes to play in the first half. If you're just tuning in, thinking it was a 7:45 kick-off, but you've made a mistake. You've missed arguably Town's finest half of football on their travels all season, because this was a 7 o'clock kick-off, and it's Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 3. Hurd now on the attack. Good ball in towards the near post. Doesn't quite pick out Hibbard this time. Wycombe really being overrun at the back. This is Cansdell Sheriff. Uses Holt. Thornton. Olay football now. The Town fans really enjoying themselves here in Buckinghamshire. Cansdell Sheriff. 35 yards out. Clips the ball in. Header for Hibbert this time. It's covered by McCracken. And Wycombe clear. There's just no outball for Wycombe. And Scott McLeish, the Wycombe striker, who scored 25 goals for Wycombe last season, is an absolute passenger up front. He's doing nothing. He's so ineffectual, having no service. It's the real predator. And the Town fans having some fun now chanting Taylor out in the direction of the Wycombe manager. And this competition, Chester 0, Morecambe 1 in the northern section. Lots of games just kicking off up and down the land. This game was a 7 o'clock kick-off at Adams Park. A good initiative for this competition, which a number of clubs have used in the past, to kick off at 7 o'clock, primarily to allow youngsters to come to the game and then get home early enough to go to school easily enough the following day. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 3. Town fans in terrific voice here tonight, watching Town really turn on the style at a ground they've never won at before. Holt 2, McIntyre 1, 3-0 to Shrewsbury. Paul Simpson cajoling and urging Town on. Really looks the part, doesn't he? A young, ambitious, go-ahead manager. Ronan Wycherley and co getting their decision just right when they appointed him back in March, despite competition from some equally big names, including, we're led to believe, Mike Newell, who's back in the game this week as manager of struggling Grimsby. If you want to cover the Telford game against Solihull Moors in the Setanta Shield, turn to DAB, our digital service now, to join Nick Southall and Steve Bowyer for that game. Telford against Solihull Moors in the Setanta Shield of the New Bucks Head.
Sorry, Stuart, I bet those Wycombe fans who got him for free tonight are pretty thankful they got him for free, because they wouldn't have wanted to pay to watch this.
I bet.
Not from their side's point of view anyway. Shrewsbury fans loving it.
They're unbeaten here so far this season, in the league at least. Birmingham City did come here in the Carling Cup, a game that was live on telly in the first couple of weeks of the season, and the Blues won by 4-0. Alex McLeish's championship high flyers. Must be something about cup games here at Adams Park which makes Wycombe not shine. But it's all about Shrewsbury tonight. They have played some excellent football here, and in no way does this 3-goal cushion flatter them as we move towards half-time, into the final minute of this first half, which cannot come to an end quickly enough for struggling Wycombe. Town 3 goals to the good. This is Langmead, just inside his own half, plays it onto his right foot, ball forward towards Davis, who's been heavily involved in the first half. Ben Hurd back towards Langmead. Langmead plays it square towards Coughlin, who has had a very easy night so far, plays it up towards the head of Hibbert. Ball won't stick this time for the former Preston player, and Wycombe will bring the ball forward with Rice. I think it's fair to say it would be a surprise if it isn't a Hibbert Walker front line for Shrewsbury on Saturday. Symes is coming back from injury, but he isn't involved in the 16 tonight, and Holt, of course, unfortunately banned on Saturday.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to see Richard Walker come on at some stage as well in the second half, particularly if Town are 3-0 up with a short period of the game remaining, because of course, as you say, Walker will very much be part of Paul Simpson's thinking for Saturday. I think Michael Symes is still some way off, as I was talking to Glenn Garner yesterday, and he says he's not quite there just yet, Michael Symes. But
you covered some ground with Glenn Garner yesterday, Colin.
Ben Davis on Sunday as well at the gym. It just goes to show the dedication of Ben Davis, who came back from Darlington after a long journey back and was at the gym on Sunday warming down and getting himself fit and ready for the game today. Great dedication from a great pro, and he's created 2 of Town's goals tonight.
And dedication of Colin Bloomfield, of course, to also be in the gym.
Listen, I was there on Sunday, but that's about it. Exactly.
Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 3. Colin Bloomfield and Stuart Dunn, your commentary team tonight at Adams Park, and it's a lovely place to be as well for those of us of a blue and amber persuasion this evening on 96 FM. Town rampant. 2 from Holt, 1 from McIntyre, and it's so easy it's untrue in this first half. Wycombe have carried no threat whatsoever, and Glyn Garner could not have hoped for a more comfortable return to senior duty. Half times in the 7 o'clock kick-offs. Morecambe 1 up at Chester in the northern section, Peterborough 0, Dagenham 0 at London Road, and this is the only other game that got underway at 7 o'clock tonight. Hibbert wins Town a free kick here, just shy of halfway. Really good following from Shropshire tonight. Difficult to tell just how many are here, because they were all around us here in this very shallow main stand at Adams Park, but I would have thought easily 250, maybe even 300 here tonight, making the 275-mile round journey. That's dedication for you, isn't it, on a Tuesday night? Town have a free kick here inside their own half, taken by Coughlin, right-footed. That is half-time at Adams Park. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 3. Holt with an early header from a Davis corner. Holt then again from a Davis pullback. 2 super finishes from the record signing, and then Holt setting up McIntyre for a smartly taken third on 38 minutes. Town getting a wonderful ovation as they make their way down the tunnel directly in front of us at Adams Park. Half-time thoughts from Colin Bloomfield.
They've got plenty to sing about, haven't they? Because the team have done those Shrewsbury fans really proud. Just listen to the applause from the Town fans. Just about sums it up for me. Easy, and it has been for Shrewsbury. They played really well. They played some great football. Grant Holt's got 2. Ben Davis has been involved in the first 2 Town goals. Kevin McIntyre, really sweet finish for the third, and Shrewsbury now surely have 1 foot into the next round of the Johnstone's Paint Trophy. Really good first half display from the Town. The best I've seen them play on their travels this season in the first half, without a question, and hopefully more of the same for the second half.
Welcome back to Adams Park. Town 3 goals to the good. That sounds good, doesn't it, away from home at the start of this second half, and Town playing towards the deserted end of the stadium in this second half, at least behind the goal, the Dream stand end here, but lots of Town fans on this side of the park. Good vocal following for Shrewsbury here tonight at Adams Park, and they're revelling in what they've seen so far. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 3, 2 for Holt, 1 for McIntyre, teed up by Holt, and inevitably no changes made by a very happy Paul Simpson at half-time here at Adams Park. This is Cansdell Sheriff, the Australian, inside his own half. Very late tackle on Davis, bad tackle from Lewis Spence, and Andy Woolmer, I'm fairly sure, should be reaching for his yellow card for the first time this evening there.
Late and needless, wasn't it, from the Wycombe player there. Happily Davis is up on his feet. He's okay to continue, but yep, I think we may well get our first yellow card of the game, and not a great start to the second half for Wycombe, really, is it?
Well, he hasn't
been
been
awful
booked,
first,
which
he hasn't been booked,
frankly, cannot quite believe. That was late, it was dangerous, could have been a serious injury to Davis. What does it need? If Davis had stayed down and the physio would come on, would he have got booked? But as it was, Davis sprung back to his feet did the Wycombe player a favour there. And Andy Woolmer, the man in charge, keeps his cards in his pocket. Town on the attack again, straight away, with the very busy Irishman, Thornton. McIntyre on the left-hand side. Good ball in towards Hibbert. It's blocked by the centre-half, Johnstone. And Town have a corner within the first 90 seconds of the second half.
Great ball in by McIntyre, wasn't it? Whipped in with pace, it was low, it was not easy to defend. Wycombe just about did at the expense of the Shrewsbury corner, but good to see McIntyre getting forward again.
And Town have this corner, it's directly in front of the big TV screen in the left-hand corner of Adams Park. Davis with his left hand up as he corners delivered towards the near post. Johnstone clears, and as far as Thornton miscues his volley goalwards, and a chance for Wycombe to launch a counter-attack. Heaven knows what Peter Taylor, their manager, had to say to his patched up side here tonight. Of his own choosing, we should say. It was his choice to make 5 changes from the team which beat Bournemouth here on Saturday to send Wycombe back to the top of League 2. And the understudies, the fringe players, have hardly covered themselves in glory so far. I'm sure Peter Taylor's had some constructive words to say to his team at half-time as they come forward down the right-hand side. They just haven't been in it as yet. Ball delivered by Phillips. It's poor, goes right behind. Goal kick to Shrewsbury Town, but I'm sure there was some paint coming off the wall, you would think, at half-time. Whether Peter Taylor is actually that kind of manager, I'm not quite sure. He's always quite mild-mannered, isn't he, Taylor, the former Leicester and Crystal Palace boss?
Yeah, I think he's a good manager as well. He left Palace to go to Stevenage last season, which I think surprised a few people. I actually saw Stevenage towards the end of last season with Taylor in charge. They lost 3-0 at Burton, but Stevenage played really well that night, and since he's left, they've really fallen down the pecking order in the Blue Square Premier. But I think he's a decent manager. I think he's probably found his level with Wycombe, and he's made a very good start, perhaps a point to prove as well after leaving Crystal Palace.
And Taylor, the man who will forever be associated, it would seem, from his stint as the England caretaker manager when he handed the captain's armband to David Beckham for the first time in Italy. That seems a long time ago now, doesn't it?
Basically fall from grace, isn't it, from England to Stevenage?
It is, in about 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
3-0 to Shrewsbury here. Elsewhere in the Johnstone's Paint Trophy this evening in this southern section, Brighton 2, Leyton Orient 0. Wouldn't fancy a trip to the Withdean Stadium in the third round, no thank you. Cheltenham 1, Walsall 0 at Wadden Road. Luton are 1-0 down at home to Brentford, who are going well, aren't they, in League 2, the Bees. In the northern section, it's good news for Rochdale. They were losing to Carlisle, but now they are 2-1 up on Paul Simpson's former club. The crowd at Chester, by the way, for their game against Morecambe, 926 through the turnstiles of the Diva Stadium tonight. That is, quite frankly, awful for a Football League club, isn't it? Town come forward again as Casdell Sheriff toe post shot goalwards, and this time Young makes a save, diving to his left-hand side.
It is awful, but I have to say, Stuart, am I wrong in thinking that when Shrewsbury played, I think it was Swansea, in a auto windscreen shield game many years ago, I think it might have even been the season that Town got to Wembley, it was the first round and Town had a similar crowd. Ray Woods played really well that night, I seem to remember, but I suppose it's the nature of this competition, isn't it? You get low crowds at this stage. I wouldn't have thought there'd be too many more than maybe 1,500 inside here tonight. It is, I suppose, good from the Football League's point of view that they've tried their best, and both clubs have tried their best to get people in the gates tonight with free admission for season ticket holders and under 16s early kick-off as well. But I think whatever they do, it isn't going to be the best supported competition in the early stages.
Well, Wycombe come forward down the right-hand side here with Vieira, who's been well bottled up so far by the Town centre-halves. Vieira plays nothing like his illustrious namesake Patrick, the former Arsenal star. That's good news for Shrewsbury. He's been very limited on what we've seen so far. Zabrowski, the top goal scorer, on the bench tonight for Wycombe Wanderers, who have a throw in here near the corner flag as they play towards the Hypnos Terrace, the home end, the popular end if you like, here at Adams Park. Taking a long time to take it. The ball is now delivered into the box, scooped in towards the far post. Awkward hanging ball for Ashton to attack, and the ball loops up into the hands of the goalkeeper Glyn Garner. We were talking about attendances in this competition, and I can actually recall being at Gay Meadow a long time ago. It was in the early 90s. I think it was Asa Hartford's last game as Town manager. I'm sure some people listening were also there, in a crowd of 520 to see Town hammered 6-2 by a Torquay United side from the division below, and a veteran by the name of Tommy Tynan scored 4 that night, and Asa Hartford was sacked the following day. Memories of this competition. Thankfully, the modern day guys of this competition, the Johnstone's Paint Trophy, being much more productive for Shrewsbury tonight in Buckinghamshire. It's Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 3. If you're just joining us, by the way, here on BBC Radio Shropshire, this is a town team on duty tonight. Garner in goal. He's in because Luke Daniels, the on-loan Albion keeper, reported ill today with a sickness and diarrhoea bug. Back four, Hurd, Langmead is in for Jackson, Coughlin and Tierney. Midfield four, Thornton, Cansdell Sheriff, McIntyre, who scored Town's third here, and Davis. And up front, Holt, who scored the first two, and Hibbert in a very strong looking Shrewsbury Town 11. Take you through the Wycombe side in a moment. Thornton has the ball midway inside the Wycombe half, goes back into his own half to Hurd, who exchanges passes with his very good friend Kelvin Langmead. And now Hurd looks to charge on down the right hand side. Ball got away from him, he lunged in though. Good committed challenge from Hurd. And now Wycombe tries to knock the ball forward towards McLeish, and Garner reacts quickly and sends it downfield up towards Ben Davis. Good header in field towards Holt, who I'm sure would love to complete his first hat-trick in Shrewsbury colours here tonight before he signs off for that one-game ban against Port Vale at the Pro Star on a Saturday afternoon. Woodman now, long ball forward down the inside left channel for Wycombe. Cansdell Sheriff covering well, nudges the ball out of play for a Wycombe throw-in on the left-hand side. Woodman coming forward to take it. Takes it back towards Johnson, some 40 yards out. Back down the line it goes towards Woodman. Close control towards Johnson. Town fans have gone very quiet for the time being. That's unusual given how vociferous they've been here tonight. And Wycombe with a very patient build-up. Rice plays it in field. Pounced upon by Cansdell Sheriff, who tries to lead the charge. Studs shown by Mussino. He gets away with it though. Wycombe play the ball in, looks for the give and go with the left back Woodman. They overplay though, and Town played up towards Hibbert on halfway. Hibbert's control is a bit poor. Ball bounces away from him, and Wycombe get the ball back. If Wycombe get the next goal in this game, you never know. If Shrewsbury get it, it's done and dusted. Make no bones about that. Wycombe indulging in a decent spell of possession here. They're going nowhere fast. It's the longest sequence of possession they've had actually here tonight. And now Woodman, the left full-back, clips the ball into the box. Good running by Vieira this time, near the dead ball line. Good close control. Woodman now whips it in, first time left-footed, headed away forcefully by Kelvin Langmead. And Town looking as though they are a very tough nut to crack again tonight.
Yeah, it's so important, is it, that Town just keep it tight first 15-20 minutes of this second half. You talk about comebacks, of course. Look at Aldershot against Bury at the weekend. Bury 3-0 up and seemingly cruising away from home, cruising perhaps towards the top of the league, but Aldershot came back to score 3 goals in 10 minutes. So still plenty of work ahead for Shrewsbury. They are looking pretty comfortable at the moment, soaking up this spell of Wycombe possession. Town have a very good defensive record though, it has to be said. Okay, no Mike Jackson tonight, but Coughlin and Langmead, the two centre halves, very capable figures at the heart of Shrewsbury Town's defence. And again, we've seen now from Kelvin Langmead just now, just cool, calm, composed defending. Really good player, isn't he, Langmead, and really unfortunate to be playing third fiddle, but he's playing third fiddle really to two very good centre halves in Jackson and Coughlin.
Yep, I think it's fair to say Langmead would walk into most other League 2 back fours, wouldn't he? But owing to the strength of Coughlin and Jackson not playing tonight, so Langmead gets a chance to stake his claims. Poor clearance from the Wycombe goalkeeper there. Cansdell Sheriff beneath that one. McCracken heads deep into Town territory, and Langmead goes for the safety first option this time and plays it back to the goalkeeper. This is the Wycombe side I promised to give you. Jamie Young in goal. At the back, Robbie Rice, Dave McCracken, the captain, Leon Johnson and Craig Woodman. Midfield 4, Matt Phillips, John Mussino, Lewis Spence and Nathan Ashton. And the front 2, Scott McLeish and Magno Vieira. I think he's from round these parts. 5 changes in all to the Wycombe side, which started against Bournemouth on Saturday. This is a good run by Cansdell Sheriff. Holt could be for the hat-trick. Holt with the first time shot, and it fizzes wide at the upright. Only one thought in his mind there. Nice little ball played in by the Australian, and Holt with a venomous shot, always drifting away from goal there. Yeah,
Cansdell Sheriff did really well, didn't he, to win the ball, played the ball through to Grant Holt, racing down the left-hand side, got his shot in, but it was wide of goal, hit it first time. It was a sweetly struck shot, but it was never going to trouble the Wycombe goalkeeper, Jamie Young. But that just goes to show the confidence of Grant Holt. Couple of goals tonight for the Town, and McIntyre also on target in this 3-0 success story away from home. But good to see Town eager for that 4th goal, which would really kill this game and put it to bed, and we can all go home and look forward to the next round of the Johnstone's Paint Trophy draw, which I presume will be Saturday.
Yep, sure it will be. Usually on Saturday morning, isn't it? On the Soccer AM programme on Sky Sports. Helen Chamberlain and I don't know who her latest
Rushton,
co-presenter
somebody,
is.
isn't it? Rushton?
I haven't seen it for a
Somebody
long
Rushton?
time. Haven't seen it since the days of Tim Lovejoy, I must be honest. But it's still running, and the draw, I'm sure, will be on that on Saturday. And of course, we will have full coverage of the next round of the Johnstone's Paint Trophy, and we'll let you know who Town have drawn in the Saturday morning news bulletins here on 96 FM BBC Radio Shropshire. McIntyre getting involved off the ball there with McLeish, who went down. It was Vieira, actually. Vieira went down as though he'd been poleaxed. I think it was just a coming together, fairly innocuous, and the ref just wants a quiet word with McIntyre. Elsewhere in the Johnstone's Paint Trophy tonight, 2 quick goals at Glanford Park. Scunthorpe lead Grimsby, local derby there, by 2-0. Mike Newell with his first game in charge. Leyton Orient have pulled one back at Brighton. Robbie Savage's Brighton these days, 2-1 to the Seagulls. And it's still Telford 1, Solihull Moors 0 in the Setanta Shield. Martin Naylor once of Shrewsbury Town with an early penalty for the Bucks there in that Setanta Shield tie at the new Buckshead. Here at Adams Park, 57 minutes played. Stuart Dunn and Colin Bloomfield, your commentary team. It's Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 3, 2 for Holt, 1 for McIntyre. It's all very comfortable as Langmead clears from the edge of his 18-yard box. Downfield, no one to latch onto it this time. Woodman will return the ball from whence it came. Fairly aimless. Sums up Wycombe's night, really. And it bounces all the way through to Glyn Garner, the Shrewsbury Town goalkeeper, relishing this chance to play in front of a crowd. Yes, it might be a sparse crowd here tonight, but I'm sure it beats playing in front of a couple of hundred fans for Town reserves in the Central League, doesn't it? The ball out of play for a Town throw. 10 yards inside the Wycombe half. Hurd will take it on the right-hand side. Should, before I forget, by the way, pass on a message I was given by a Town fan at half-time. Mick, a Town fan from the county town, says to Debbie, I'm sure you know who you are, Debbie, you should have been here. You thought you'd give this one a miss. And Mick says you are missing a treat. Have to concur with that. It's Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 3. Cool defensive play from Coughlin again. Puts McLeish off the scent. Goes back to the goalkeeper. And now Tierney has the ball in the left back position. Lovely ball clipped down the line. McIntyre's control for once. Let him down. And Shrewsbury finding it hard to really play with the same conviction. I suppose it's hard to really play with the same flat-out intensity when you know in the back of your mind, surely the game, barring a disaster, is already won.
Well, they don't need to, do they? I mean, you know, they're 3-0 up away from home. They're looking very comfortable so far. You know, we've had that one shot by Grant Holt wide of goal, and for all their possession, Wycombe haven't at all tested Shrewsbury's goalkeeper, and you have to say, haven't really tested Shrewsbury's back four so far. It's been really, really comfortable for the Town. I just wonder, though, whether Paul Simpson may well consider making changes. Town have an important game, of course, on Saturday against Port Vale in the league. Ashton, Humphrey, Leslie, Hindmarsh and Walker on the bench for the Town this evening. No reserve goalkeeper, of course, with Garner in for Daniels tonight. Would have thought we might see maybe a change or two in the next 10 minutes or so from Simpson, but I just think Town are comfortable to ride out this Wycombe storm, if you can call it that.
Yep, an hour played. Proof of how disappointing Wycombe have been. All about how well Shrewsbury have played. I have to give Town immense credit for limiting Wycombe, but an hour played and I haven't even had to pick up my pen and jot down one Wycombe Wanderers contribution to the night's event. Very, very comfortable for Shrewsbury. This is Tierney, just inside his own half. Good looking ball forward, looking for McIntyre. Taken down on the chest this time by Robbie Rice. And this is a chance. This is Vieira. Could be an on goal. Chance to get one back for Wycombe. Tries to turn inside Langmead. And Langmead was big and strong. And Garner even prevents Wycombe from gaining a corner.
No conviction at all there, was there, from Magno Vieira, playing as a striker tonight, but that was almost like a defender racing forward. The ball bobbled in front of him. He had no conviction or confidence heading towards goal, and Langmead was easily able to gobble up. But really, that's Wycombe's best chance of the night. He was through on goal, Vieira, and it was a really good chance. And Langmead, who actually is deceptively quick, got back, made the challenge, and didn't even concede the corner.
Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 3. Town have a throw adjacent to the edge of the 18-yard box as they play towards this deserted Dream stand end tonight. Nice ground here at Wycombe Park, 10,000 capacity. Good 3/4 of the capacity here is taken up by seats. Very impressive two-tiered stand opposite us. Top tier not open for business tonight. WWFC spelt out against the navy blue background. Executive boxes bringing in a decent income stream as well for Wycombe. Also home of London Wasps, the top rugby club. And to a few grounds, didn't we, in League 2 last season, where the club shared grounds with their rugby counterparts, Stockport County and Sale Sharks at Edgeley Park. and of course Bristol Rovers as well, and Bristol Rugby Club at the Memorial Ground. Here the pitch in terrific condition considering they do play rugby on it, albeit it is still very early in the season. I'm sure it will churn up as the campaign develops. Wycombe come forward here, ball delivered by Phillips towards the edge of the box, could break towards Spence, and it's awful. It's high and wide. Goal kick to Shrewsbury Town, and Wycombe having more of the possession in the second half, but they seem to be extremely limited and lacking any real belief that they can get back into this tie.
So I'm surprised Peter Taylor hasn't made any changes. I'm sure he perhaps would have considered changes at half-time, but he's left it as it is. Wycombe are seeing much more of the ball. They're posing more of a threat going forward, but again, Glyn Garner has had not a serious save to make so far, but Wycombe certainly have improved in the second half. Let's face it, they couldn't have got much worse after a dreadful opening 45 minutes. Town have done the job. They're 3-0 up. I'm sure they'll just be quite happy to sit back and hit Wycombe on the break and get that fourth goal.
Wycombe have a throw here directly in front of the tunnel. We disappeared down the tunnel ourselves at half-time to get to the press room. Nice warming cup of coffee. Not that it's a particularly cold night here in Buckinghamshire. Very pleasant compared to how bitterly cold it was up in the northeast. It always is up there, isn't it, at Darlington on Saturday. Elsewhere in the Johnstone Spain Trophy this evening, Hereford 1, Swindon 0. Fancy Hereford in the next round maybe. Matt Doan, ex-Wrexham. Shropshire boy has got the goal there. Peterborough 0, Dagenham 1. Could be an upset there. And it's now Luton 0, Brentford 2. In the St Anthony's Shield, Telford still a goal to the good against Solihull Moors. Martin Naylor. Summer signing from the New Saints of Oswald Street with the goal there from the penalty spot for Rob Smith's side. Full commentary of that game available on our DAB digital service and also online this evening. And when we're done here at Adams Park, we will have commentary here on 96 FM from the Bucks Head 2 before switching back to Adams Park for some reaction from the Shrewsbury Town manager Paul Simpson, who I'm sure the way this game is shaping up will be highly delighted. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 3 on 96 FM. Wycombe come again down the right hand side. Again they seem so low on confidence. Town bossing the game. Holt plays a good square ball to Hurd, plays it over halfway now to Davis out on that right hand side. Diminutive figure of Davis, a former Chester player, goes in field to Cansdale Sheriff. Town just content to let the ball do the work, zipping off little 10-yard passes in every direction. And now look at them come here now with Davis. Good ball in. Hibbert stoops, diving header. Defender got there to put him off, and it's set up nicely for the Wycombe goalkeeper Jamie Young. Good
defending, wasn't it, in the end? Just got in front of Dave Hibbert there, but a lovely curling ball in from Davis on the right, whipped it in with pace, and Hibbert very nearly made it 4. But good to see Town still coming forward here with Thornton, and Town positive in everything they're doing so far, and Grant Holt really epitomising Shrewsbury's performance so far. He's absolutely everywhere. He's scored a couple of goals tonight. He's doing his fair share of defensive work as well. Really has had a very good game tonight, the former Forest man.
Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 3. Wycombe have the ball on halfway. This time with John Messino. Square it goes to Rice, the fullback, looking to link here with Matty Phillips down the right-hand side. Wins a throw off the wholehearted Mark Tierney. And Wycombe now play the ball into the box towards McLeish on the right-hand side. Coughlan's big and strong, and there's no way round him for McLeish. And McLeish hacks out at Graham Coughlan. In fact, Ref Woolmer has given Wycombe a free kick, a corner after all of that. I thought Coughlan might have been impeded by Scotty McLeish, but Mr Woolmer disagrees, and that'll be a corner to Wycombe Wanderers. The scoreboard away in the far corner of the ground on one of the floodlights here spells out home 0, visitors 3, and 65 minutes on the clock as Wycombe desperately need a goal here to make a game of it in the final 25 minutes. It's a corner delivered towards the near post, easily dealt with by McIntyre, the man who scored Town's third goal just before half-time. Davis now leading a jet heel counter-attack. He checks and plays it back to Cansdale Sheriff. Long ball downfield towards Holt. Ball wouldn't stick this time for Holt, and Wycombe clear. Coughlan returns the ball with interest. He's had a good game. Poor defensive control from Woodman. Hibbert could nick the ball back. Working hard, Hibbert. Not really falling for him in terms of clear-cut chances tonight, Hibbert, and I just wonder whether we shall see Richard Walker very soon, because I'm sure Holt will go the distance. He's suspended on Saturday, so he'll get his rest.
Tell you what, he'll want his hat-trick as well when he Grant Holt. He's got 2 goals tonight. I'm sure he'll be absolutely gutted if he's taken off. But yeah, I think if we are going to see a change from an attacking point of view from Simpson, I would have thought that probably Dave Hibbert will be the man to make way. He's worked so hard again this evening, but it just hasn't quite clicked for Town's number 9. But it's just been an all-round good team performance. You saw it there for that Wycombe corner. Kevin McIntyre just bustled his way to get that ball at the near post, and that's the kind of attitude that Shrewsbury have when they're away from home with a third of the game left, 3-0 up. But McIntyre really using his strength and his presence well to win the ball back from that corner. 3-0
to Shrewsbury here. So what Wycombe can do here with Vieira. Threads the ball through to McLeish, who has to turn and play it wide instead of forward, using Ryan. Wycombe this time do get away. Phillips, good ball in towards the far post. It's missed by everyone though. Cross was begging to be finished off. No one could get any sort of connection, and Town will now look to turn defence into attack with Davis to Cansdell Sheriff in the centre circle. Hibbert, one-touch football this from Town in their black away kit tonight, with a flash of red and white on the body of the shirts and shorts. Tierney now in one of those marauding runs from left back. Showed a bit too much of it on this occasion to Messino. And now Wycombe play the ball down the inside right channel. No one there though to latch onto the attempted ball from Phillips. And Town again just to slow it down almost to walking pace. The onus on Wycombe as the home side to try and make a game of it. 3-0 will do more than nicely for Shrewsbury Town. Good morale boosting result as well ahead of Saturday's game against Port Vale at the Pro Star in League 2. First time those two clubs have played together in the same league, you know, for over 30 years, Shrewsbury and Port Vale. So it'll be interesting to see the men from the Potteries, including one Luke Rogers, I'm sure, the former Town old boy, at the Pro Star on Saturday. This is Hibbert, once off Port Vale, 30 yards out, thinks about the shot, great hit from Hibbert, always rising, and it ends about 2 or 3 yards over the top.
Yeah, good strength from Hibbert that time, did well actually, went for goal, long way out, 30 yards out. If that had gone into the top corner, that would have been another candidate for goal of the season. We've said that a few times already this year, but good effort by Dave Hibbert, but I think the goalkeeper always knew it was going wide. Just going back to Port Vale, I think they came here in this competition, or came to the Game Meadow, didn't they, in this competition a few years ago. Ryan Lowe, I think, played an important role
in those days, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sudden death.
Yeah, it was a super game that night, wasn't it, under Kevin Ratcliffe. Town played Crewe as well in that season.
Had some good games that season in this competition. Town in the northern section in those days. Now they find themselves in the southern section. They always have been one of those borderline clubs that have alternated between north and south. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 3 here. Telford still 1 up on Solihull Moors in the St Anne's Shield. Naylor from the penalty spot, nearly half time in that game at the Buck's Head. So shaping up to be a decent cup double for Shropshire's Big 2 tonight. Let's not speak too soon though. 22 minutes
making a change, Stuart. Paul Simpson and John McMahon beckoning Richard Walker, I think, to the tunnel, just about to make their first change of the evening, I think.
Yep, seems a decent time to make a change with just over 20 minutes to play as well. Wycombe have a free kick here on halfway. Expected much more from Wycombe, even allowing for their 5 changes made by Peter Taylor tonight. They have been very disappointing. That's to take nothing away from Shrewsbury Town, though, who've really put the chair boys in their place here tonight on this very encouraging evening at Adams Park. Cansdell Sheriff goes square to Thornton in the centre circle. Doesn't give the ball away, does he, Thornton? Good attribute for a footballer to have. Here he is again, Thornton. Pings it forward towards Hibbert. Not the best of first touches from Hibbert, but he makes amends by charging on, and he wins Town a free kick some 35 yards out. Real workhorse, Dave Hibbert.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? He got a little bit of a push in the back there. Free kick to the Town. It's a bit of a way out for a shot. I'm sure Davis will fancy it. Davis, he has been reasonably quiet in this second half, really. Haven't seen too much of the former Chester man, but it's in a fairly central position, this, for the Town. Wycombe just assembling what will be a 5 or 6 man wall. Goalkeeper beware.
Can hear the drum starting up again. Thought that had gone home at half time, thinking the job was done. But the Town fans all around us here tonight in the main stand at Adams Park. They haven't opened up the away stand behind the goal, and the Town fans would love a 4th goal to get excited about here. 20 minutes to go. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 3. Free kick to the Town, some 35 yards out. Davis and Cansdell Sheriff having a look at this one. McIntyre as well. Free kick's taken straight to the goalkeeper. Useful effort from Cansdell Sheriff. Didn't get the zip he was hoping for. and a routine save in the end for Young.
Yeah, it was comfortable, wasn't it? It was, as you say, zipping towards goal, but without a great deal of pace, and Young made a pretty comfortable stop in the end, just making the save to his left-hand side.
Again, Coughlan steps in. He hasn't put a foot wrong at the back. Holt could latch onto this one. Holt chasing after it. He wants his hat-trick, and Young comes out of his penalty area. The goalkeeper deals with it. But Holt on the rampage here. If you're just joining us, all the damage coming in the first half here at Adams Park. The opener on 12 minutes. Davis corner, headed in powerfully by Holt. Then on 26, lovely run from Davis down the right-hand side. Pulled the ball back. Excellent finish from Holt, and then Holt setting up McIntyre for a well-taken third. Here comes a change. Warm applause for Dave Hibbett, who's worked hard. He goes off on 72 minutes, and it's Richard Walker coming on.
Yeah, as we thought, a really good chance for Richard Walker for the remaining 19 minutes or so to impress. I think Town making a double change as well, with Kevin McIntyre coming off and Stephen Leslie coming on. I think his only appearance so far this season, Stephen Leslie, has been from the substitutes bench against Exeter in this competition. So a couple of changes for the Town, no great surprises there, and McIntyre for me has had a really good game tonight, covered a lot of ground, worked really hard, and well, Leslie has come on and playing in central midfield, I think, Stuart, and that's the position he's been playing really well in for the reserves as well, hasn't he, of late?
He's been really excelling in that midfield role. Double change for Wycombe as well. Spence is going off, hasn't done a lot in midfield tonight. Derek Duncan is coming on for Wycombe Wanderers. Could be a triple change actually for the home side. Vieira's coming off. He's been anonymous, hasn't he, in the Wycombe Wanderers front line tonight. Zabrowski, the top goal scorer, coming on, ex-Millwall player. He'll have to go some to save Wycombe in this game though. Let's just see who the third and final change is going to be for Wycombe. Peter Taylor's patience seemingly finally snapping here. His team have offered next to nothing, and it's Nathan Ashton coming off for Wycombe. And the third and final change for Wycombe. But it's Zabrowski again, he's coming on twice. It's Gavin Grant who came on out of we got there in the end. Grant, Zabrowski and Duncan for Spence, Vieira and Ashton. Dave Hibbett warming down, and McIntyre, and being given a really warm ovation by the Town fans as well. McIntyre, pleased to see him winning the fans over after taking a time to do that. Didn't really take to him, did they, Town fans, when Gary Peters signed him from Macclesfield at the start of the year initially. Elsewhere in the Johnstone's Paint Trophy tonight, Luton have pulled one back. They're now 2-1 down at home to Brentford. Asa Hall, remember him, ex-Town loan player, has got the goal there. Darlington 1, Huddersfield 0. As Castle Sheriff shoots, and it's a wonderful goal! Sublime from Castle Sheriff. Spotted the keeper off his line, and he scooped it into the top corner. And Town are turning on the style here. 13 minutes to go. It's Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 4, and that's superb from Castle Sheriff.
Great goal, really, really good goal. Best of the bunch tonight. Shane Castle Sheriff scored a super goal against Macclesfield opening day, and well, he's gone from distance as well there, 20-25 yards out, spotted the keeper slightly off his line, and we get a great view of that. We were right behind it, and he was heading towards the top corner, and 4-0 to Shrewsbury Town. Who'd have thought that at 7 o'clock, Stuart Dunn?
You see, Match of the Day have these goal of the month, goal of the season competitions. I tell you what, the quality of this goal of the season competition for Shrewsbury Town early in this season would be something, wouldn't it? That goal for Castle Sheriff, added to the one he scored against Macclesfield on the opening day. Murray at Exeter you'd have in there. Definitely Thornton at Darlington on Saturday. And that was the beauty. Holt wants his hat-trick, he's in the penalty area. On the left-hand side, Walker in the middle. He goes short to Leslie, just come on as a sub. Awkward ball, it could catch the keeper out, and it drops just over the top. I think it was a cross. West ended up with a shot, and Town fancy a couple more goals here in the final 15 minutes. Surely they're not going to win 5-0 tonight, Shrewsbury. Surely they can't come to the League Two leaders and win 5-0. Well, who knows? But who'd have thought they'd come here and won 4-0? But take nothing away from Shrewsbury tonight. They have been really, really good, and what a confidence booster as well, Stuart, because we came into this game and there were one or two concerns about the away form. Yes, at home Town have been beating teams out of sight, but it's been solid, if unspectacular, away from home. But tonight Shrewsbury put in their best away performance by a country mile. It's been really, really good, and I think they've got a free kick here as well in a useful position. It's just been such a great night for the Town. Wycombe have been awful, but Shrewsbury have been excellent. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 4, 2 for Holt, 1 for McIntyre, and 1 brilliantly for Shane Casdell Sheriff in the last couple of minutes. Can we play you every week, chant the euphoric Town fans enjoying their night here in Buckinghamshire. Town do actually play Wycombe at the Pro Star in the league just before Christmas. The return is here in late March. Could be a pivotal game if Town and Wycombe start as they mean to continue as they've started in League 2. Town free kick, 30 yards out, right hand side. Davis shaping up to take it. Holt and Langmead and Leslie all in the mix. Ball in, comes right towards Holt. Desperate defensive play from Wycombe, and Young comes through a crowd of players and hangs on for dear life. Wycombe man is down injured. It's Zabrowski, and the Wycombe physio has some work to do here. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 4. And it's been wonderful to witness, hasn't it, Colin Bloomfield?
Yeah, it's been excellent. I have to say, McCracken there, the Wycombe defender, did really well. Again, super delivery from the free kick, swung into the 6-yard box. Had it got to Holt, surely it would have been 5-0, but McCracken rather desperately stuck out a leg and managed to divert it away. Young, the goalkeeper, claimed it in the end for the home side. But Town have just demolished the League 2 leaders tonight, and it's been a joy to watch.
Town have made another change here. Casdell Sheriff has gone off. Big ovation for him. For Neil Ashton, who I'm really pleased to see back in the fold. Ashton, I think he's the longest serving player now, along with Langmead, isn't he? And Neil Ashton comes on for the final 17 minutes here at Adams Park. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 4.
Sorry, say that again?
Sounds good, doesn't it? Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 4. Welcome to DAB listeners who are joining us at half-time in the Telford game. Telford 1 up against Solihull Moors in the Setanta Shield. You will be rejoining Nick Southall and Steve Bowyer. Fear not, Telford fans. We're showing half-time some commentary here from Adams Park in the Johnston's Paint Trophy Southern Section, round 2, and it's Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 4. 2 for Grant Holt, 1 apiece for McIntyre and Casdell Sheriff. In this competition, Swindon have equalised at Hereford United, 1 apiece at Edgar Street, and Grimsby have pulled one back at Scunthorpe. 2-1 now to the Iron at Glanford Park. This is Walker, once off Wycombe, on as a sub, uses the local boy Steve Leslie on this left hand side. Solder, Thornton a bit short there. Wycombe scoop it forward long. Coughlin deals with it, and this time the ball bouncing around on halfway with Messina. Wycombe look a demoralised bunch, and Town really handing out some drubbings, aren't they, in these early months of the season. 7 against Gillingham, 4 against Macclesfield, and now another 4 here tonight at Adams Park. Wycombe tried to pull one back with Zabrowski, and Goddard as well there, slides out, fainted as though he was going to smother the ball, then he lets it run, and it will be a goal kick to Shrewsbury Town. Just looking at that clock in the far corner of Adams Park, I think it says 78 minutes, my eyes on the best, clock isn't the best. 12 minutes to go, Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 4, BBC Radio Shropshire, Stuart Dunn and Colin Bloomfield, your commentary team tonight on BBC Radio Shropshire 96 FM.
Yeah, it's been really good, hasn't it, from Shrewsbury this evening. Every player has played their part. It's been a really hard-working performance from Paul Simpson's side, and what a way to set yourself up for back-to-back home games. Here come Town again.
This is Leslie down the left-hand side, in for Grant Holt! Hat-trick for Grant Holt! His first for Shrewsbury Town! Great ball in from Leslie! Holt couldn't miss, powerful header, and this is a rout. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 5, it's unreal!
And what a super ball in by Stephen Leslie. Great ball in, left-hand side, whipped into perfection. Holt totally unmarked. He won't have an easier header all season. Wycombe have gone to sleep once again tonight. We don't care about that, do we, Stuart? 5-0 to the Town. This is absolutely incredible. Grant Holt has the match ball, and he thoroughly deserves it. All headers as well. No, not all headers. One of them was a header. Two of them were headers. I'm getting carried away.
And why not? Not every day we see Shrewsbury Town win 5-0 away from home, is it? And there's still 10 minutes left here. Wycombe, who have gone, they're out of it, they're shot to pieces. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 5. And whoever draws Shrewsbury Town in the last 8 of this Johnston's Paint Trophy, a competition, remember, that gets more interesting the closer you get to Wembley, will not fancy it. Holt shoots, and Holt has scored again! From 25 yards, big volley! He slides forward, Jürgen Klinsmann style! It just keeps getting better and better and better! Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 6, and Grant Grant Holt has scored 4 of them.
I didn't think Grant Holt scored from open play. What a shot. Totally out of nothing. Just unleashed an absolutely unstoppable drive. 25 yards down. This is unreal, Stuart. This is totally unreal. Town have come for the league leaders tonight. OK, Wycombe have made 5 changes, but they've still got a strong team out. And Shrewsbury have absolutely demoralised them. And could, seriously, Town score 7 twice in a season. Twice in as many, well,
Watch
twice
in 3 weeks.
4 weeks. That would be incredible. But I tell you what, there's 8 minutes to go, and well, anything's possible.
Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 6. Grant Holt has 4. What a shame this boy is suspended on Saturday for the Port Vale game. Sod's law, isn't it? Hits form, shows what he can really do. 4 terrific goals. That 4th one, wonderful. Ball played forward, sat up for him. Left foot, dipping volleys, put the keeper off his line, and it went in like an absolute rocket. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 6. This is Holt. Little flick on towards Walker. Covered this time by Leon Johnson for Wycombe. Ashton does the tidying up on this occasion. Plays it back to the goalkeeper. Glyn Garner, who really has picked the perfect night, hasn't he? To return to the first team stage, deputising for the ill Luke Daniels here. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 6. Sounds better every time I say it. This is Zabrowski. Shoots from a long way out, and good save from Garner. Fingertip save from Garner. In fact, it was Gavin Grant who got the shot in. Their first shot on target all night, and Garner made a really good save, diving low to his right.
Tell you what, had that gone in, Paul Simpson would have been furious. 6-0 up. He's going to be desperate, as all managers will be, to keep a clean sheet at this stage. And Glyn Garner did really well. It's the only save he's had to make all night. Full stretch, got his fingertips to it, turned it behind Wycombe Wanderers' corner. But this game is well and truly won for the Town.
And Wycombe take the corner. Town stand firm, clear up towards Richard Walker, who had a spell with Wycombe when he left Aston Villa a few years ago on as a sub. Wycombe shoot from a long way out, and another good save from Garner. Hit with some power that by Zabrowski. Garner watched it all the way, and a good save. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 6 on BBC Radio Shropshire. Yes, you are not mishearing me. It really is 6-0 to Shrewsbury Town at the League 2 leaders.
Go on then, Stuart. Last Shrewsbury player to score 4 goals in a game.
It's a good question. It's a very good question. Leave it with me. Could be some time with the answer.
I can't believe you didn't research that before you came out tonight. Unbelievable.
I don't think I've ever seen a Shrewsbury Town player score 4 goals in one game. If you know the answer, please give Radio Shropshire a call, 01743 248321, or send them a text, 07786 2096. Let us know, 07786 2096, the last Town player to score 4 in a competitive first team fixture.
Tell you what, Grant Holt want 5.
Why not? 7 minutes to go, 6-0 to Shrewsbury Town on BBC Radio Shropshire. This is Thornton in the centre circle. Town potentially 4 games away from Wembley, including a 2-legged Southern Area semi-final. Still work to do. Impossible not to be excited though, isn't it, about the possibilities awaiting this exciting team put together by Paul Simpson, the Shrewsbury Town manager. Tonight, Town without 2 of their most consistent performers all season in Daniels and Jackson, and they've come to Wycombe and have made them look like schoolboys. It's so easy, and the Wycombe fans heading for the exits in their droves. The Wycombe fans who have bothered to come here tonight will be wishing they hadn't bothered booking for a Wycombe player here. It's Leon Johnson, the defender, sums up Wycombe's night. They have been shocking, Town have been scintillating. Free kick to the Town on the right hand side, just inside the Wycombe half. Town would love to emulate that 7-goal massacre of Gillingham a few weeks ago, I'm sure. Ball played in towards Holt, breaks to Leslie, who made the hat-trick goal for Leslie. Leslie lets the ball drift out of play, and Town have a corner. And who'd bet against a 7th goal here with 5 minutes to play?
Yeah, it would be incredible, wouldn't it? The Town fans to our left singing "We Want 7." Shrewsbury just absolutely all over Wycombe. You said it, Stuart, a few minutes ago. Wycombe have completely gone. There are more goals in this game.
Davis pulls the corner back to Thornton, thinks about the shot, does shoot, Thornton! It fizzes wide this time. Who can blame him fancying his chances? Scored that howitzer at Darlington on Saturday. This time he sliced it and it's gone wide. Simo, give us a wave, chant the Town fans. Happy to oblige as well, Paul Simpson, who seems to have a real rapport with the Shrewsbury Town fans. He had a tough time of it, Paul Simpson, when he took over a team in free fall under the former manager Gary Peters in March. Wasn't an overnight fix, was it? But Town going in the right direction now. They fancy a 7th here with Holt. Holt could be in, Holt's in, and Holt has scored again! Holt again! 5 for Holt with 5 minutes to go. It's Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 7. It doesn't get any better than this. That's for you two.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. You know what, Stuart? I missed the Gillingham game at the Pro Star, but to be here tonight is an absolute pleasure and privilege. Grant Holt scoring 5 goals. One of the Wycombe defenders has just sunk to his knees. He can't believe it. I can't believe it. I would have thought that 1,500 people inside this stadium can't believe it. Grant Holt has got 5 goals. Shrewsbury have got 7. This is simply unbelievable.
Well, you asked me, Colin, a few moments ago who was the last time player to score 4 in a game, and I was struggling. I couldn't remember who was the last man to score 5 in a game. The legendary Alf Wood against Blackburn Rovers at Gay Meadow in 1971, off the top of my head. It was Shrewsbury 7, Blackburn Rovers 1. I'm sure some of our listeners will have been at dear old Gay Meadow that day. I didn't think he cost £170,000, but Holt, on tonight's evidence, is looking a snip at 170. 5 for Holt.
He's got the same number of goals tonight as he had all season. Absolutely incredible.
October 1971 it was, when they beat Blackburn Rovers by 7 goals to 1 at the Gay Meadow. Just distracted there by a Town fan showing me a ticket, trying to read out what it says actually. I can't read the writing, sir. Yep, just asking the question. Alf Wood, just asking me if a Town player has scored 5 before. Alf Wood against Blackburn Rovers in 1971. So 37 years ago.
Good maths.
Since the last Town man to score 5 in a game. He could get 6. Still time. 3 minutes to go. Town fans almost pitching themselves.
What's the
Town
record?
hadn't beaten a team 7-0 since 1955, and now they've done it twice in 3.5 weeks.
What's the record away win, Stuart? No Town had 7-1 at Rochdale a few years ago. I'm testing you with all these questions tonight.
I know.
But 7-0 away from home. Have Town ever done that in their history?
Incredible. People listening on our DAB digital service, you can now rejoin the Telford commentary against Solihull in the Setanta Shield with Steve Bowyer and Nick Southall. And I trust Telford fans who've joined us at half-time enjoyed that goal spree enjoyed by Shrewsbury Town. That's 4 goals scored in 12 minutes, and Holt has scored his last 3 goals inside 7 minutes. That's some going. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 7. Yes, really. This is Zadrowski for Wycombe on the left-hand side. Wycombe going nowhere fast towards the corner flag. They cannot wait for the full-time whistle, I'm sure. Peter Taylor's beleaguered side. Yes, he made 5 changes tonight, but even so, this is embarrassing from a Wycombe point of view, isn't it? This is Leslie on halfway. Paul Simpson still urging his side on. He's not satisfied with 7. 1-2 with Walker and Leslie. He's done really well since coming on, Leslie, down this left-hand side. Uses Tierney. His ball into the box is charged down by Zadrowski. And there's still time for an 8th maybe here. Mark Tierney, the latest to be singled out for a chant by the Town fans. Attendance has just been confirmed. Didn't quite catch that.
1,733, I think.
Okay, Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 7. Those Town fans here tonight will remember their night out in Buckinghamshire forevermore, I would have thought. And remember, Town had never won at Adams Park before tonight.
I have to say as well, for these Shrewsbury fans here, this is just fantastic for them, because I'm sure 1 or 2 of them thought Johnston's Paint Trophy, Tuesday night, away at Wycombe, difficult game. Shall I make the journey? Well, those who did, I'm sure are not regretting it. Well, we're positive they're not regretting it. It's going to be a long journey back, but I tell you what, I'm sure it will fly by. Those fans who've made the journey tonight, well worth it. Well worth it.
Who says the Johnston's Paint Trophy isn't exciting, eh? People find it hard to get worked up for these early rounds, and with good reason often. Who could have foreseen what would happen here tonight? This is Hurd. He fancies a goal. Driving forward from right back. He's 30 yards out. Uses Thornton. Unable to work the ball out today with outside of him. And we will have 3 minutes of added on time. The attendance here tonight, 1,730. 1,730 and 193 ecstatic Shrewsbury Town supporters at Adams Park. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 7. Town cruising through to the last 8 of the southern section. 3-0 up at half-time. 4 goals have followed since, and they could have another one here. Holt, this time he stopped in his tracks by the offside flag on the far side. Holt has a dry smile on his face. It's truly unbelievable. 5 for Holt here. And remember, he'd only scored 4 all season, and 3 of them have been penalties before tonight. He's now got 9 goals for the season. I think he'll be top scorer.
Use your fingers there, didn't you?
Yeah, had to. He'll be top scorer in League 2, I'm sure, after this tonight. 5 of them in the Johnston's Paint Trophy.
Well, I have to say as well, actually the first goal was credited to Graham Coughlin tonight. I know on CFAX and 1 or 2 other various media agencies giving it to Graham Coughlin, but it was definitely Holt. So I think they have corrected that since. But yeah, definitely Holt's goal. 5 for him, 7 for Shrewsbury, and what, a minute or so left?
7-0 to Shrewsbury as they send the ball forward towards Walker. He would love a slice of the goal action, I'm sure, here in these closing stages. It's Tierney. Tierney plays it forward towards Leslie. Takes it on his chest. Strong challenge goes in on Neil Ashton there. It was very late from Derek Duncan, one of the Wycombe subs who came on with a score at 3-0. I bet they wish they'd stayed on the bench, given what they've had to endure since. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 7, 5 for Grant Holt, the record signing, the first time player to score 5 in a game since the Great Elf Wood against Blackburn Rovers in 1971. That's a long, long time ago. Scott McLeish being booked here.
They haven't scored 7 twice in a season.
That's a good question. I don't know the answer.
It's one for the statos, isn't it?
Not something I expected to have to look up either a few short weeks ago. And this, remember, a Town team who haven't been exactly prolific on their travels this season. But this will give them so much confidence.
Paul Simpson said beforehand, we're going to go for it. Well, tell you what,
they've gone for it.
They've certainly done that, haven't they?
They have. BBC Radio Shropshire, Stuart Dunn and Colin Bloomfield greatly enjoying themselves here tonight at Adams Park, alongside nearly 200 Town fans, literally alongside them. You probably hear the drum banging away. 7-0 to Shrewsbury, deep into stoppage time. Hurd flicks it forward towards Ashton. Ball out of play this time. But this has been wonderful to witness. Wycombe thoroughly demoralised. Just wonder if this will have any impact on their league form. I know a lot of their first choice players haven't played tonight, but you do wonder. It's all over. Another wonderful night to remember. It's ended at Adams Park. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury Town 7. Holt got 2 in the first half, both set up by Davis. There was also a super goal for McIntyre, teed up by Holt. Who else? Castle Sheriff made it 4 with a sublime lob into the top corner on 74. Holt completed his hat-trick on 79, heading in a Leslie ball. Then Holt with a wonderful dipping volley from 25 yards, best in the bunch. And then Holt again on 86, his snap hand. Wycombe 0, Shrewsbury 7. Well, Grant, that was something a bit special, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was nice. Obviously, the goals was great, but I think what was more pleasing was the performance. First half, I think we showed how good we are when we keep the ball. We went in at half time, obviously with a good scoreline, and we came out and worked even harder the next half.
For you to get 5 goals in a game, though, that must be beyond your wildest dreams, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Obviously, I walked out before the game and hunt his poles and said, "Listen, get your finger out. I've got a 10 on you for a hat-trick," I think he said. But I think he was joking. But no, it's nice. Always nice to score goals and. Always nice to score goals and. Oh my God!
We're just being moved here by a steward. We've moved 2 yards to our left-hand side. Sorry, Grant, you were saying.
Yeah, it's always nice to get goals, and doesn't matter if it's 5, 1 or 2. The main thing was the performance, but obviously I'm delighted to get 5 goals. It's something I'll probably never ever do again, and I'm delighted.
You're actually the first Shrewsbury Town player to score 5 in a game for the small matter of 37 years. That's a nice place in the record books for you.
Yeah, that's it's always nice to get written in books. Just a shame we can't beat that record of 7-0. We thought Sean was going to do it at the end, and we're really happy with the performance. I think we showed today how good we are when we keep the ball, and we implemented that by I think a lot of hard work in the first 10 minutes to press the ball high up the pitch, and it's just nice to win.
Have you scored 5 in a game before?
No, I was saying before, I've never scored a hat-trick in actual competitive games, so it's always nice to get that out of the way, take the burden off, and to get 5, obviously, it's a dream come true.
And which one pleased you the most?
I think it's got to be the 4th one, really. I think it's got to be that one, really. It was a great finish, and I was delighted with that one.
And the fact you're suspended on Saturday, that couldn't have come at a worse time now, could it, after what you've done here tonight?
No, that was it. That was it. I had to put a mark down, and obviously I'm just suspended now, and I've got to. I had to put a mark down so the gaffer still knows that I'm around. Obviously we've got 2 forwards at the weekend. We've got Walks, who came on and was a different class again. You've got Hibbo, 60 minutes work. He's still into the ground, and obviously we've got Symes. He'll be back for the weekend, so you've got to keep on your toes. We've got a great squad at this football club, and I've just got to try and let the gaffer know that I'm still here.
I'm sure you won't forget after that. You're looking forward to seeing the goals on the video now, I'm sure.
Well, it will be. I've finally got a few goals. I said to Hibbo before the game, I'm going to have to start getting a little lead up because too many people were close. So obviously I've just got to start turning some more goals in the league games. I've been a little bit disappointed the last couple of weeks. I haven't really performed, and maybe that's just turned the tide now.
Top quality tonight. Well done, Grant.
Cheers, thanks.